A HFY story, I told you so. RE081-Deathworld, War, and Humanity ***. The Galactic Council chamber was a masterpiece of alien engineering, with a vast dome displaying a holographic map of the galaxy. Representatives from countless species convened here to discuss matters of peace, trade, and, on rare occasions, war. Today, however, the focus was squarely on humanity, a species that, despite its short tenure in the galactic community, had become a source of both fascination and alarm. The meeting had been called by Councillor Greasix of the Calixian Dominion. Standing tall with bioluminescent patterns glowing in agitation, Greasix pointed a clawed hand toward the lone human representative, Commander Elena Voss. "We warned you," Greasix declared, his voice resonating through the chamber. "We warned humanity not to engage with the Zarn Dominion, and yet, here you are, dragging us all into war with your recklessness." Elena remained seated, her expression calm but her eyes sharp. "With respect, Counselor, we didn't start this war. The Zarn attacked one of our colonies without provocation." "Provocation?" Greasix scoffed. "Your species' very existence is provocation. You hail from a death world, a planet so hostile that no sane species would consider it habitable, and yet, you thrive there. Your aggression is written into your biology." Elena leaned forward, her voice steady. "Surviving on Earth didn't make us aggressive, it made us adaptable. And it's that adaptability that's going to stop the Zarn from tearing through this galaxy like they've done to countless others." The room erupted in murmurs. The Zarn Dominion was a scourge, a race of bioengineered predators that consumed and assimilated everything in their path. The Council had long sought to avoid direct confrontation, relying instead on treaties and isolation tactics. But humanity's colony, RE081, had been the first to fight back, and win. Greasix sneered. "Your so-called victory on RE081 was a fluke. The Zarn will adapt to your tactics, they'll overwhelm you, and when they do, the rest of us will pay the price for your arrogance." Elena stood, her presence commanding. "Let me tell you what really happened on RE081. The Zarn didn't expect us to fight back because no one else ever has. They came at us with their swarms, their predators, and their bioweapons, thinking we'd fold like every species before us. But humans? We don't fold. We built trenches, rigged defenses, and turned their own terrain against them. Our engineers hacked their biodrones. Our soldiers fought them hand-to-hand when the ammunition ran out, and when the Zarn brought their largest war beast, we didn't run, we brought it down with nothing but grit and ingenuity. Yes, we're from a death world. Yes, we're resilient, but we're not just fighting for ourselves, we're fighting because someone has to stand up to the Zarn, and if the rest of the galaxy won't, then humanity will." The murmurs in the chamber grew louder, but this time, they carried a different tone: respect, curiosity, even admiration. Councillor Misser of the Trinari Collective, a species known for their pacifism, spoke up. "If what the human representative says is true, perhaps their methods are worth considering. The Zarn have been a threat to us all for centuries. Could humanity be the key to stopping them?" Greasix's bioluminescence flared angrily. "They'll drag us all into chaos." Elena met his gaze, unwavering. "Or maybe, for the first time, we'll end the chaos. The Zarn have been allowed to grow unchecked because fear has paralyzed this council. Humanity doesn't have the luxury of fear. We fight because we must, and if you're smart, you'll join us before it's too late." The chamber fell silent as the holographic map shifted to display the Zarn's expansion. Their territory had grown steadily for centuries, consuming entire civilizations, but now, a single red dot marked RE081, a line in the sand drawn by humanity. Councillor Misser stood. "I propose a vote. Should the Galactic Council support humanity's efforts against the Zarn?" Greasix growled. "This is madness." But one by one, the representatives cast their votes. By the end, the majority stood with humanity. Elena nodded, her voice resolute. "You won't regret this. Together, we can stop the Zarn, and when we do, remember this moment, the moment when humanity proved we weren't the aggressors, but the defenders this galaxy needed." As the chamber emptied, Greasix approached Elena, his bioluminescence dimmed. "If you fail, humanity will be blamed for the ruin that follows." Elena smiled, a hint of defiance in her expression. "If we fail, there won't be anyone left to blame, but we won't fail, and when we win, Counselor, I'll be waiting to say, 'I told you so.'" RE081 had been the spark. Now, the fire of humanity's resolve burned brightly, lighting the way for a galaxy that had forgotten how to fight back. The decision to join forces with humanity marked a turning point for the Galactic Council, but it also placed an enormous burden on Elena and her people. The weight of the galaxy's hopes now rested on humanity's shoulders, and failure was not an option. ####the preparation. Back aboard the Aegis, the flagship of humanity's fleet, Elena convened with her commanders. Holomaps of Zarn-controlled territories filled the war room, their crimson borders pulsating ominously. RE081 was just the beginning, Elena began, her voice firm. The Zarn didn't retreat because they were defeated, they retreated to learn. They'll adapt to our tactics and come back stronger. Commander Briggs, a grizzled veteran, nodded. They always do. Which means we need to be unpredictable, hit them where it hurts, where they least expect it. Elena pointed to a cluster of systems just outside the Zarn's core territories. This is their Bioforge network. It's where they grow their war beasts and mass-produce their drones. If we can cripple it, we'll slow them down long enough to regroup and rally the Council's forces. Briggs frowned. That's deep in enemy territory. We'd be fighting without support. We won't be alone, Elena said, activating another holodisplay. It showed the Council's fleet, an eclectic mix of ships from various species. The Council has agreed to send a task force to hold the Zarn at the border. That should buy us time to strike. Lieutenant Kiro, a Trinari liaison assigned to the human fleet, raised a tentative hand. Commander, I've studied Zarn tactics extensively. They don't just adapt, they assimilate. If they capture any of your soldiers, they'll use their knowledge against you. Elena's expression hardened. Then we make sure they don't capture anyone. This is an all-or-nothing mission. If you're not ready for that, speak now. No one did. #### the infiltration. The Aegis led a strike group of 3 stealth ships deep into Zarn space. The Bioforge network was located on a trio of moons orbiting a gas giant. Each moon bristled with defenses, organic towers that pulsed with alien energy and swarms of biodrones that patrolled the skies. We'll approach under the cover of the gas giant's magnetic storms, Elena explained during the final briefing. Our stealth systems should keep us hidden until we're close enough to deploy ground teams. Once on the surface, we'll plant charges in their primary power nodes and retreat before the whole place blows. The plan was simple, but executing it was another matter entirely. As the Aegis slipped into the gas giant's shadow, the crew's nerves were palpable. Every sensor ping, every faint vibration, felt like it could be the harbinger of discovery. When the strike group reached the first moon, Elena led the ground team herself. They moved through the alien landscape, a nightmarish tangle of bioorganic structures that pulsed like living veins. The air was thick with a nauseating mist, and the ground squelched beneath their boots. Plant the charges and move fast, Elena ordered, her weapon at the ready. The team worked quickly, but just as the final charge was set, a piercing screech echoed through the air. The biodrones had found them. #### the battle. Hold the line, Elena shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. The team formed a defensive perimeter, their weapons tearing through the first wave of drones, but the Zarn's numbers were overwhelming. For every drone destroyed, 2 more seemed to take its place. Briggs's voice crackled over the comms. Captain, we've got hostiles converging on your position from the other moons. You need to move, now. Elena gritted her teeth. We're not leaving until the job's done. As the team fought, something unexpected happened. The ground beneath their feet began to glow, and a familiar energy surged through the air. Ghostly figures appeared, humans, aliens, and others. The same ethereal energy that had helped them at RE081 now rose again. The spectral figures moved alongside the team, intercepting drones and shielding them from enemy fire. One of the ghosts, a human soldier, turned to Elena and saluted. We're with you, Commander. Finish the mission. With the ghost's help, the team pushed through the swarm, planting the final charges. Elena activated the detonator as they retreated to their extraction point. The moon erupted in a blinding explosion, the shockwave tearing through the Zarn's defenses. #### the aftermath. The strike group returned to the Aegis battered but victorious. 2 of the 3 moons had been destroyed, and the third was critically damaged. The Zarn Bioforge network was crippled. Elena stood on the bridge, watching the distant flashes of the Council fleet holding the line at the border. This is just the beginning, she said quietly. The Zarn will come back stronger, but so will we. Kiro approached, his expression unreadable. Commander, the ghosts, what are they? Elena smiled faintly. A reminder of what we've lost, of what we're fighting for. The galaxy had been reluctant to trust humanity, but after the mission, there was no doubt, humans were not just survivors of a death world, they were warriors who could inspire even the fallen to rise again. And as Elena gazed at the stars, she couldn't help but think of Griezix's words in the council chamber. I told you so, she whispered. #### the ripple effect. News of the successful destruction of the Zarn Bioforge network spread quickly across the galaxy, sending shockwaves through the Galactic Council and beyond. For the first time, the seemingly unstoppable Zarn had been dealt a crippling blow, not by ancient, technologically superior species, but by the newest and most underestimated member of the galactic community, humanity. The other species began to reconsider their stance on Earth's inhabitants. Once regarded as reckless and dangerously aggressive, humans were now seen as the galaxy's best hope. A coalition began to form, with species offering ships, troops, and resources to support humanity's fight. Yet not everyone was convinced. Dissent among the council. In a private council meeting, Griezix once again voiced his concerns. This victory will only embolden the Zarn. They'll retaliate with greater force, and when they do, humanity's recklessness will drag us all into ruin. Admiral Jonas Kairos, humanity's military liaison to the council, leaned forward, his voice calm but firm. Councillor Griezix, with respect, humanity didn't drag you into this war. The Zarn have been at your borders for centuries, and you've done nothing but appease them. We're the ones who've shown you they can be defeated. A representative from the Elysian Union, a species known for their intellect and strategic prowess, interjected. Admiral Kairos is correct. The Zarn's advance has only been slowed, not stopped. If we don't act now, the window to strike will close. Humanity has proven they can lead, perhaps it's time we followed. The council vote was close, but in the end, a majority agreed to form a united coalition under human leadership. It was a historic decision, one that would shape the galaxy for centuries to come. The coalition assembles. On the outskirts of the Trinari system, the largest fleet ever assembled prepared for the next phase of the war. Ships from dozens of species floated in formation, their diverse designs a testament to the galaxy's unity. Elena stood on the bridge of the Aegis, addressing the coalition leaders via holocom. This isn't just humanity's fight, she began. The Zarn are a threat to every living being in this galaxy. If we don't stand together now, there won't be a galaxy left to save. Humanity will lead the charge, but we can't do this alone. Your ships, your knowledge, your courage, together, we can turn the tide. The coalition leaders nodded, their resolve mirrored in their expressions. The final battle. The coalition's target was the Zarn's central hive world, a planet-sized organism at the heart of their territory. Intelligence gathered by the Trinari revealed that destroying the hive world would sever the Zarn's ability to coordinate their swarms, effectively crippling their war effort. The fleet moved into Zarn space, engaging enemy forces in a massive, chaotic battle. The Zarn deployed their most fearsome creations, massive bioships that dwarfed even the largest coalition vessels. But the coalition fought back with a ferocity born of desperation and hope. Elena led the charge aboard the Aegis, coordinating strikes and rallying her forces. The ghosts returned once more, their spectral forms bolstering the coalition ships and creating openings in the Zarn defenses. In the final moments, a strike team, led by Elena herself, infiltrated the hive world. The team planted charges deep within its core, facing relentless waves of Zarn defenders. With the charges set, Elena gave the order to detonate. The hive world erupted in a catastrophic explosion, the shockwave rippling across Zarn space and sending their forces into disarray. Victory and beyond. The coalition's victory was hard-fought and costly, but it marked the beginning of the end for the Zarn. Without their central hive, the Zarn swarms fragmented, becoming manageable threats rather than an unstoppable force. Humanity emerged as heroes, their adaptability and resilience proving to be the key to the galaxy's survival. Yet Elena knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy would need to remain united, not just against future threats, but in building a better future for all. As the council reconvened to discuss post-war reconstruction, Griezix approached Elena. His bioluminescence flickered, a sign of reluctant respect. You proved me wrong, he admitted. Perhaps humanity's place in this galaxy isn't as dangerous as I feared. Elena smiled, her tone light but firm. We're from a death world, counselor. We thrive in dangerous places. And we told you, we're here to stay.